Guys, Coach Pete here, and I just want to ask, where'd the warmth go? It's a sunny but cool day here on Long Island, and it's chilly as a dumpster-filled gristle. Thank God I head to Florida this weekend. In case you didn't know, I'm a huge Mets fan, and I'll be attending a couple of spring training games for the first time in my life. Saying I'm stoked would be a major understatement. We head out Friday afternoon, and we'll be returning late Sunday night. To my clients who would be hopeful of me taking Monday off, come on, did you really think I'd let you off the hook? Our federal holidays, and I've even seen clients on July 4th. You don't get off that easy. Anyhow, today I want to give you a foreshadowing to both a report and a mini course that I'm working on. Both analyze the American diet and why so many Americans struggle with their weight and ultimately their health. Additionally, these new materials will explore why most diets and fitness programs will only get you to a short-term goal, and why you've never seen permanent success on your health and weight loss journeys. Let's dive in a little bit, shall we? The USDA recommends that we ingest 50% or more of our daily food intake from carbohydrates. To take that a step further, they recommend that we get most of that carbohydrate consumption from nutritionless, processed carb sources like grains and added sugars. You know, the breads, pastas, and rices of the world that have absolutely no nutritional value and can lead to some serious health conditions. Here's why that's not only a terrible idea for weight loss, but a terrible idea for health in general. When we consume carbohydrates, we begin a process in our bodies called the insulin resistance cycle. Long story short, this cycle starts with the overingestion of carbohydrates, which, as I mentioned, our government recommends we do in abundance. Our bodies secrete the hormone insulin to regulate our blood sugar levels, and as a result, the carbs we ingest are distributed instantly to our cells, muscles, and organs in need of stimulus. The issue with such a high percentage of our diets coming from processed carbohydrates is that there's going to be way more fuel injected into our bloodstreams than our bodies need at that moment. As a result, two things happen. Number one, we experience a pretty massive blood sugar spike and then drop. Ever wonder why you get that 2 o'clock feeling, or you're a grazer who needs to nibble on food throughout the day? Hunger is often your body's way of telling you that it needs more fuel to stay awake and alert. If you're ingesting processed carb after processed carb after processed carb throughout the day, then there's a lot of severe blood sugar spikes and drops that you're experiencing on a regular basis. This will lead to number two. The excess carbohydrate that's not needed by our bodies right away will be stored as fat. Yes, body fat is our body's way of storing the excess energy, or carbohydrates, we ingest for potential periods of famine and starvation. Fat is a slow-burning energy source as opposed to carbohydrates, which are literally instant. If you need a quick pick-me-up, a healthy carb like an apple will do you some good for an hour or two. If you're looking for long-term, sustainable energy throughout the day, then you're going to want to eat a food consisting of healthy fats, like almonds, instead. Getting back to the insulin resistance cycle, as we continue to pound our bodies with excess processed carbohydrates, we tend to accumulate quite a bit of visceral fat. This has contributed significantly to the obesity epidemic, not just in this country, but around the world. To take things one step further, after years of this type of unknowing abuse on our bodies, our cells begin to resist insulin. This means that our bodies are no longer able to safely regulate our blood sugar, which can make us pre-diabetic and eventually type 2 diabetic. Saying that someone has type 2 diabetes is a sciencey way of saying that their bodies are insulin resistant. As I mentioned a few days ago, while type 2 diabetes can be a deadly disease in and of itself if left untreated, it's a reversible, and for some reason, a lot of people just don't understand that or know that, but it's a reversible gateway disease for most serious and permanent conditions like heart disease, various forms of cancer, and even neurological conditions like Alzheimer's. Obviously, nobody wants to open that can of worms if they can help it. Some folks believe in fate or some dumb shit like that, and that if they're meant to die of a heart attack, they're meant to die of a heart attack. That, my friends, is the epitome of stupid. Can you get hit by a bus walking down the street today? Sure. Can you look both ways before crossing the street like mommy and daddy taught you to do when you first learned to walk? Yes, you can. Can you avoid staring at your phone while you're walking across the street and a bus is speeding in your direction? Yes, you can. See where I'm going with this? I've also mentioned previously that there's a study of gene manipulation called epigenetics. Basically, just because you're born with a specific genome that predisposes you to weight gain, heart disease, and other life-threatening conditions doesn't mean that those genes are going to be turned on. Moreover, you can literally change your genetic sequencing so that the genes making you susceptible to things like heart disease go away. Pretty cool stuff, right? So, how can I lose the weight, keep it off, and simultaneously improve my health, you may be asking? Glad you asked. I'd like you to download my free report detailing the 5 strategies that I personally used to lose 100 pounds, keep it off, and now use my clients the world over. I've helped business owners, busy moms, and even Marines get into the best shape and the best health of their lives by making these changes. What do you have to lose? It's free, and all 5 of these strategies can be implemented today without much cost or anything else. You can get your free copy by going to weightlossbypete.com/5strategies. Again, that's weightlossbypete.com/5strategies. Or thanks for listening and watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Take it easy.